Okay, everyone, we are back. We are with the Cars Casually gang, minus Chris. Chris is off doing errands, being a good husband, father, and delivery person, apparently. Well, he says. We don't believe him. We are here with Gerard G. Sorry, Gerard changed your name. It's got to be G. We don't know you as Gerard anymore. We're here with Nix. We are here with Paolo. And today we are talking about questions, because we've been getting questions, surprising questions about the stuff we talk about. Okay, it started when we did one short episode about something, and it's just kind of expanded from there drastically. And some of them are hugely interesting, and some of them are kind of funny. And we're going to see what people think about Paolo, for example. So anyway, there. So we will start off with Gerard, because Gerard was the one who got this thing going. Gerard, what questions have you gotten?
Yeah. So far, the question, the dominant question that I've gotten is casa maintenance better than going to, let's say, a gas station or a talyer, particularly when your vehicle is already out of warranty. Because the argument is it's cheap, it's more expensive to go to the casa. But if, let's say, you're gonna have it done in a talyer or a gas station, will you be compromising the quality?
That's a good one.
Okay, well, if you're talking about old school cars, without so much in terms of electronics, it's one thing.
Yep.
If you're talking about new cars, it's very, very different.
Last night I was watching a video. I won't say which one na lang, of a particular car brand which had a lot of electronics, as in the whole, even things like seat adjustment and everything, which is common nowadays.
Mhm.
So the thing, in order to adjust certain things, you need to plug in either a tablet or a laptop just to do those simple. Like for example, the guy was saying he changed brake caliper, and when he put it back, the car wouldn't start. Apparently, some electronic sensors were affected, and it pretty much affected the whole system.
Okay, well, anyone got Nick's got any thoughts on this? Paul, any thoughts?
I guess before we start, I guess the comments to be making on this small topic is more anecdotal.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to say that first. So okay, so that being said, my experience is nowadays, when it comes to the casa, they're trying to be as competitive as the talliers outside. So the pricing may be a little higher, but you have to also understand that when you bring your car to the dealership to have it serviced, even after warranty,
Yep.
what you're paying a little extra is that their numerous experience with the said car. So for example, if I bring the family Toyota Innova to Toyota Labang,
Hmm.
you know that they've been working with Toyota Innovas for the longest time.
So what you're
Compared
saying
to
is
if you
you're
do,
getting peace of mind.
yes.
Tama? Yeah. Okay.
So
And
so and then
experience.
Yeah.
and then on the flip side though, if you know that the tallier is very experienced with cars in general or your car, then it's also okay to bring it to a tallier, like a shop. As long as you know that there's that level of confidence that they know they can work on your car. Because the
Mm-hmm.
pros of bringing it to a shop is that
Yep.
they know that they're taking care of your car.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yes, it's
Mm-hmm.
very specific. Let's
Yep.
let's just as a reminder for everyone, we are talking about after warranty service,
Yeah.
Okay.
because not prior to the warranty. The warranties nowadays are 3, 5,
5
7
years,
years, 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Some of the
Yeah.
brands,
And
right?
Yep.
and we
Fair.
suggest that
Yep.
we highly suggest I don't want to speak for the team, but ako, at least for me, I highly suggest that you keep the warranty, so you keep bringing it to the casa as much and as long as you can. Kasi that
Hmm.
warranty sometimes will save you a lot of
Yeah.
money.
Yes,
You never know when you
yes,
need. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Indeed. I was
Yes, Paulo.
yeah. I was gonna say I have a different opinion compared to you guys when it comes to maintenance with the casa or the tallier. But after Nix's explanation, that's what I agree with, especially if you're considering maintenance after the warranty period. After the warranty period, I would second guess go to la casa because I grew up in an environment where we didn't really have our car serviced in the casa, especially after the warranty period. Because admittedly, the prices of the maintenance, the labor, and the parts are really pricier compared to the Talier. But if you find a shop or a Talier you trust, that's proven for you, then that's what I would really go for.
Yes.
As long as it's a trusted shop.
Yep.
Because
Okay.
in the end, I think the shop that you trust will take good care of you, as from my experience, because they know how your car is, they know you personally, and that's what I would go for.
Okay, I will give my thoughts on this, which are it is increasingly hard to not bring your car to a dealership service center, because with all the modern electronics, it's very easy to miss out on updates, on the software that's needed to even just check your car. Understand, I'm talking about an ideal situation where the dealership really knows its stuff. And in all honesty, there are dealerships that do not know their stuff. And we know the shops that the dealerships go to when they can't figure out their stuff. Honestly, that's where we go.
Yep.
But no, understand that a dealership is a function of, it's a small part of a big corporation.
Yep.
Service makes a lot of money for dealers, in many ways, a lot more than the purchase of your car. But it is also just part of a whole thing. So they can't by nature really fixate on your car the way you would necessarily like, and that's when the systematization comes into play. There are companies that are great, but there are also companies that are just really consistent. And I think for a lot of people, the consistency of people like your chosen Honda dealer, that's my personal comment, because I have a Honda dealer I really like, or your personal Toyota dealer or Subaru dealer or whatever. Even within the brand world, you're going to find differences in how one dealership handles a car versus another.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And we're not apologists for dealers, but we're also not. We've seen both sides. We've seen people with legitimate complaints about maintenance, and they have happened to us. I've had my car bumped by a dealer. I've had things badly put together by a dealer.
Yeah, same.
If you do that on a car that has C Magazine as its owner, that's not the world's smartest thing to do. Okay. But having said that, accidents happen. We understand that. There's a tremendous amount of money involved in putting these dealerships together and in stocking all the parts that you need. Paolo and I were just at the Kia stockroom, and we're just amazed at the amount of stuff that they have in stock, ready, because they don't want the customer to wait. And it's not just this. It's not just the stuff. It's the we looked at their system, and their system was that the minute something moves, it triggers a refresh. It triggers a reordering of one or two.
That's impressive.
Right. Okay. So
Cool.
not just one replacement, but two, because suddenly there's demand. Okay. So that from their system, and they explain this, it means that they're starting to see demand. So maybe they're starting to see a point where certain cars need to replace parts. So that's the positive of the dealership. The negative is that sometimes, you're not, if you're used to going and seeing your car worked on, that doesn't happen because legally you're not allowed to go into the service center.
Yes.
Service center. Yep.
Yes,
Correct.
And that's not necessarily that they're hiding things. It's that they have legal things. What if something happens to you while you're in there?
It is actually more of a safety issue.
Yeah, it is. You don't know. People are used to being cars moving around, and you're not used to that environment.
So there are
it's-
some
it's
dealers that claim that they have a window where you can view the
Yes,
service
yeah.
that's going
Some
on. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not always. And here's another thing: a lot of this stuff is outsourced. People don't
Yeah.
realize a lot of it,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
repair, body
True.
repair, is outsourced.
Yes.
Yes.
And I have gone back because I was unhappy with the paint job done on the car that they damaged in the dealership. Okay,
Okay.
It happens. It comes down to your attitude. Honestly, you can choose to be upset, or you can choose to, work through this.
Actually, what I tell people, it's easy to get angry in a car dealership, but it's hard to get praise. And like we have to also
That's true.
recognize
Hmm.
like a lot of dealerships also go above and beyond because for them your customer care, the way you see them, is their business.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
So
very, very
Correct.
true.
Correct.
so when you go to the dealership and something goes wrong, if you like what Sir Carl said, when you handle it correctly, like it makes a difference. I have so
People
many
really notice it.
anecdotes where
Mm.
I have so many
Yep.
anecdotes where like dealerships went above and beyond and more than like grievances of like my car getting scratched and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
No,
sometimes you can use it
it's
to your advantage. Like, oh, you
yes.
scratch your car, you just say it's fine.
Well, I wouldn't say it's fine. I point it out.
Oh.
But no. But
I'm not
there is a
that guy.
point. There is a point with that, which is in terms of traditional research and metrics, if you want to call it that. If you're able to solve a customer's problem, that customer is more loyal to you than he was when he started.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
For sure.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Here's the Honda dealership that I like. Has been servicing our car for over a decade and a half. We keep our cars for a while, and they kind of shock me when they tell me, "Oh, this might be the cost." Okay, and I freak out. But then they come back to me and they say, "Oh, we don't have to do this. You don't have to do that." So that's just their system, and they're letting you know ahead of time. In reality, it's rarely what they say it is,
No,
but it's their process, and they
same
do
here.
take care of the car. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'd rather that than one of the questions that I wanted to bring up was we have a person who triggered by the Fortuner video we did. You guys did. You did the whole what do you call it? Supercar blondie with a cap on. They said, "Oh, should I get a Fortuner?" And that was interesting because this is a minivan, multi-generation family. The Fortuner is like the last thing they should get because they can't get up the height, right? But they were like, "Oh, Fortuner." Then they said, "Okay," so they were very unhappy. Now, it was not a Toyota that they had; a different car, and they just were unhappy with the dealership. So I actually called the dealer. I said, "Can you send someone else to handle that?" Anyway, okay. We've lost Nix. Nix is staring at something on the. Nix is staring at Paolo. We should take a photo of this. Nix is gazing longingly at Paolo. Oh man, he disappeared. That was an interesting look.
Yeah. That was kind of creepy.
That was. He was asking how young you were. So anyway, okay, never mind. Okay, so while we wait for Nix to reappear, okay. So my question had to. Okay, well, let's go further into the whole. A friend of mine is a. Let's tease Nix. And that's what he was doing that day when we caught him. Hi, Nix.
Oh no, you know what I did that day when I got caught.
Yeah.
Just so you know, you're lucky you cut out because we had you frozen at this staring longingly at Paolo look.
Yeah.
Oh, the normal look, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So a friend of mine is a mechanic in the United States. He is a hardcore full-on car guy, and he is fully certified up to X levels for Mercedes and so on. And he has worked in full-on dealerships. And he has worked in accredited shops, and he has worked in non-accredited shops as his own shop. And he's given me insight into what really happens. And if you are, let's say, if you bring your car into a dealership, that dealership has to purchase all this equipment. It has to purchase all this software, and that is constantly changed. Okay, and sometimes it's even subscription, right? So it means a constant payment. But the advantage there is that you get updates. You get updates to solve. There was we were just talking about this with someone who had to sort out an issue with a car, and it was really just a software issue. It was a suspension issue. Okay, it was a suspension issue, but it was sorted out just because someone pointed out that this shouldn't be handled this way, and they checked it, and there's an update that they did not apply. Okay. Yeah. So ideally, when you go into the shop, they should see whatever needs to be updated, whatever. This is not a failure. This is just modern software. I mean, we're all used to it. You have bugs, right? We're bringing cars to market far more quickly.
Phones. Just like
Exactly. I mean, the only problem is that
cameras, even cameras, you have to update them.
We update them regularly. How often do we update our phones, and how much do we complain about the update of the phone, right? So there. So I guess the basic answer to that is it's a changing world. Ideally, we like. I have cars that are 20 years old. They
Yeah.
go to a specific. Okay, you guys, everyone knows this. I use Car Shack in Makati for Miatas. If last time I went there were 5 Miatas there. This is a resource for Miata ownership, in particular the NAs. So that's a shop that, yeah, they have a vast amount of knowledge, and there's some people who are really really good at Porsches or really really good at
Yes.
Mitsubishi Galants. Right, that's the one we're trying to fight now because Gerard was supposed to redo my Galant, right? So it'll come down to that. But those, on one hand, a shop like that needs a little bit more attention, a little bit more time. It's not a no-brainer thing. But on the other hand, as you know, I mean, when Nix and I did a brake change, right? It is nice to understand a little bit more about your car, so you're not
Yes.
at a loss when someone tells you something.
So you know what they're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So you know if you really need that part, right?
Yeah. One thing I found. Okay, as a quick note, we've been starting to do the watch videos, right? And one of the things I found is that there are a lot of people that want a lot more information that's very very basic. You know,
Yeah,
they want us
they
to
wanna
talk
know-
about the stuff that we don't
Just-
talk about because we already know it. So
Yeah.
we should
It's
be
a good
doing
thing,
that.
though.
No, it is.
Baka
It's
which is a
completely good.
thing.
It's like Nix's how to wash your car video, right? Or the whole thing about brakes. That was interesting because we got some odd comments on that one.
Yeah.
You know, we got some odd comments, which is very different because we're not getting that same level of.
Yeah. I
Comment.
remember the guy. The guy is like, why is he changing his rotors right away? I'm like, I just typed there. Because he wanted to.
Yeah. No, well, in that case, well, yes, I wanted to, but also I got we got massive rotor fade. We got massive rotor warping repeatedly. So there was an issue
Yeah.
somewhere. And plus, yeah, I wanted to upgrade my level. Anyway,
Yeah.
there. And what was our final answer? Are we all Casa? Are we all not dealership?
No,
What was our final-
Depends. If you trust Taller, then you know.
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
as a like if my answer would be know your priorities and base it from there. If it's convenience, if it's like a sure ball, it will be fixed. It depends on your like priorities. But based on your priorities, you can choose between the casa or
Yeah, it depends. Yun nga, the level of trust that you have on the alternative to the casa.
yeah.
If you have
And then
one,
my
then go
personal
for it.
my personal answer, just like if someone's looking for answers, I go to my trusted Talier because they know my car better than I do.
Yeah,
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
it's like the crew chief on an aircraft.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
There was one
Yeah.
time I wanted to do an article on the care and feeding of your tuner because tuners are, you think they're mechanics, but they're creative, you know, and they have a strong opinion about what they do, and you kind of got to roll with that. It's like working with a chef or an artist, or a crew chief or a pit crew chief in a race
Yeah.
team. You know,
Yep.
they have a huge amount invested in what they're doing to your car, and they truly believe that what they're doing is right. And sometimes they're right, and sometimes they're not right, and you got to deal with it. Paolo, have you changed your mind?
Nope.
No, Talier pa din. Talier pa din.
Trusted
But
Taller.
when Carl mentioned that cars are now more advanced in terms of technology,
Yeah.
I was thinking the brands maybe thought of that. Like, I wonder if they put some stuff in the car, some technology
Ay, yeah.
that
Ay, yeah.
you can't
Yeah, they did.
have
They
it
did.
brought
They
to
did.
a shop.
They did.
Yep.
You have to
Yep.
bring it to them. Because
Yes.
earlier, I was thinking about our older cars, when cars from the 90s, early 2000s, we could just bring it to the shop. But now, you have a lot of electronics going on in your car. So I'm not sure how, if like the Taliers, or typical Taliers can handle it, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you have your own shop, for you to just analyze this stuff, it's not like before where we could easily plug in an OBD and then read everything, which we still can. Okay, an OBD, just in case anyone's wondering, because we should be explaining this stuff, right? There is okay, Gerard, you explain what an OBD is, because I couldn't even remember what it actually stood for.
It stands for onboard diagnostics, and it basically allows you to plug in a laptop or a tablet and see all the electronic systems that are going on in your car, from brakes to engine, fuel system, etc. So there, and then you can change certain parameters on the fly as needed. There, yeah,
Okay.
that's
But more than
layman's
that, it's
yeah.
yeah, more than that, you like based on like the condition of the car, because all the electronics can detect a lot of things like the oxygen sensor, fuel sensor,
Hmm.
so on and so forth.
Yes.
That when there's a problem, because it auto adjusts little by little, unlike old
Hmm.
cars, you have to adjust it manually. But
Yep.
if it sees a bigger problem that it can't adjust, it sends a
It
code
will.
back.
Yes. It will
And
warn you.
from that, yeah, from that code, you can identify what the problem of the car is.
Yes, that's another thing. Quite often, it is useful for you to know what the computer is saying. This computer is usually located. It's not in the engine bay. Okay, it's usually located inside. If I'm correct, I mean mine at least, as far as I have, they're
Depends
inside
on
the
the car,
cabin.
but yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it protects it and so on. That's why if you
Hmm.
see if you go in and see someone check your car, they might sit in or beside your passenger seat, and then plug in and then work on a computer there. And what they're doing is they're giving you a code, and then that code tells you, for example, you've got a check engine light that's on because of something.
Certain. Yeah.
Understand that these are not perfect systems. There are some people who, to this day, have not been able to figure out why their check engine light is on when every other parameter is fine. It might be a simple sensor thing. It might be a dirt thing. It might be the fact that the fuel isn't Euro spec, which is another thing.
Mhm.
We had this
Yeah.
discussion
Yeah.
even with Sam Liuson the other day about different specs from different countries, right? And it might well
Yep.
be that a car brought in
Even
by the gray market here just won't have the right specs, and it's going to
yeah,
start
e-
giving you wrong, giving you
Yep.
bleeps. So
Correct.
even
Yeah.
air intake
Air sensor.
locations.
Yep.
yeah,
I remember that. Like
Yep.
yeah.
you'll be surprised.
The useful one. Okay, someone was just asking what's useful. What I find very useful: tire pressure indicators.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The
I
tech.
think that's
The tech
very
was
good.
useful. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's something that was so. That was something that wasn't available many years ago, and
Mhm.
now it is, and it's really good for people that just don't check their cars. And I'm guilty of that. It happens in several ways. One of them is a where there's an actual sensor checking pressure, and the other is where it's just a balance thing.
Yeah.
The car
Where
Like
itself.
there's
you can
where
buy
there's a leak.
already. You
Yeah.
can
You
buy
can.
like
Ah, you can.
something.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
can buy like it's like a Wi-Fi little device that you put between the air sprout and then the nut.
yeah,
Mhm.
So it through your
yeah.
phone
You
you
can.
can detect the tire pressure. Also
So yeah,
battery like
all four wheels.
CTEC. Yeah,
Yeah.
CTEC
Well,
also
whatever you
has
put it
something
on.
attached to your battery. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you put it on, basically. So no,
Oh,
that's
okay. Yeah.
so there. So we there. Okay. So basically,
We digress.
Paulo still wants to bring his car to the Talier. I have my chosen shops for the older cars. The new cars all tend to go to uh, the dealership. There is an exception I will make, which is sometimes I think that the specialized shops will do better at things like matching my paint when there's an accident or something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
For
Well,
sure.
it's argue. That's the thing. It should not be for sure. It should be that when you go back into the dealership, in my opinion, they should nail down your. I mean, they're the dealer. They should nail down your color matching, and they didn't. And the odd thing was, I came out of one shop, and I went straight to a friend's tuning shop, and he looked at me, and goes, "Dude, your car looks like a rice rocket. They did not match your paint." I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't see the car in the sun. I saw it in a dark service
Yeah.
bay. The minute I saw it, I'm like, yeah, they really did not." So having said all that, there is a perpetual argument, for example, on what exactly Ferrari red is. You can have the paint code, you can have everything, and there's still going to be people arguing over mine is Ferrari red. No, mine is Ferrari red. So, what the heck?
If it's red, it's Ferrari.
Yeah, that's real. Oh, okay, then
Yellow na
let's
lang, yellow.
discuss Soul Red.
So red.
Gold red.
Soul Red.
Yeah.
Discuss Mazda
Soul
Soul
Red.
Red.
Yeah.
It is pink underneath, apparently.
Yeah,
Talaga?
that makes it so hard to
Oh,
repair.
okay.
So anyway,
So no matter how red you are, you're pink underneath.
it's like Mrs. Cheeks. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
What's
okay,
wrong
we
with
spent
your
all
neck?
this time talking about maintenance. What's our next question?
Yeah,
Well, it's technology. Right?
another
Technology.
yeah. the one of Paolo was
But the one that'll embarrass
telling
Paolo.
us?
Oh, he looks. Look, he looks longingly at Paolo. We only see it in this configuration. I'm not going to change this.
Yeah.
Oh, they gave each other looks. Oh god! You know what's really nice is we have this recorded, so I don't have to screenshot it because we have it recorded.
Wait. So Paolo, you
Forever
like
prep
what's
for
the most
graduation.
common question you get from people that talk to you?
I just realized that we actually did an episode on this already. I think past the last 2 episodes ago, but people have been asking, do we really need the technology and the convenience features being put in cars these days? So talking about safety, convenience from the
Oh, the "Are we getting lazy" thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
That one.
No, more the safety. Like, or do we need
yeah.
the 2 extra
No, the
airbags?
way
Like that kind of question?
So my
Mhm.
answer always is, when it comes to safety, you can never have too much. So the more airbags, the better. Although that also bumps up the price, right?
Mhm.
But most cars these days, they have the standard or ABS stability control. Even like the entry level cars now have most entry level
Stability,
cars now
yeah.
have stability
Yep.
control, traction control. So that's a good thing, right? Yeah, but when it comes to, like they would mention, the power lift tailgate, self parking cars, some would say that, oh, don't really need that, right? But I don't really think negatively of it. It's nice to have it, but like it's not like you forget how to park, right? It's like, so
I don't know. I don't want.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to judge people who haven't
Ah.
driven in years.
Yeah.
yeah, like
Well.
reverse cameras, parking sensors. I think those are
Oh
really
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Do you
nice
think?
to
Here's
have
a
it.
question. Do you think a Miata needs a rear parking camera?
Maybe not.
Okay, and yet that is one of the
You-
most requested additions. When
Yeah,
they
the
didn't
new
have-
one has
Like
it. Diba?
because well, you were in that meeting, right? Gerard,
Yes, yes.
I'm pointing to the screen. It's pointless. You, Gerard.
Yes.
No, you were in that. Were you in that meeting?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, you were, right?
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that so quickly, by the way. But yeah, you were in that meeting, and they said that is one of the interesting
Request.
addition
Customer
requests.
request. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
is to put a rear
And a
camera.
sensor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who knew, right?
Well, I guess it makes life easier.
Then
No,
Chris
well-
pointed it out. Chris pointed it out. The advantage of the camera is you can see everything below the
Yeah,
Yes,
like a
no,
kid
that's very true.
or a
It's
bike
not just,
or
and maybe that's
yeah.
the old school thinking we have, right? Where it's a convenience, but no, there could be a kid walking behind you. You're not going to see, although it's a Miata, it's like 2 feet off the
Oh.
ground. So,
be a dog.
okay,
Or a
I'll put
dog.
it this.
Yeah.
Okay, they're talking about the ND, the new one, right? But I'm driving an NA, and yeah, if my soft top is up and it's raining, I'm not going to see what's behind me.
Diba?
But then again, what's behind me is not important. So, okay, who knows that
Ooh.
reference? Who knows that in this group? Who knows that reference? Paolo's looking away from us because he knows he doesn't know that reference.
I've heard of that.
First rule of Italian driving: what's behind me is not important. Then you break off your rear
Exactly.
bridge. Who knows
Exactly.
that? Who knows that reference? Absolutely
I
no
don't
one.
know.
Okay, I'm not gonna date myself.
Put in the comment down below if you know the
Yeah,
reference.
let's see who knows
Sir.
that reference. Okay, this is
Show
Speaking
your
of
age.
comments,
Show
speaking
your
of
age,
comments,
people.
we got a few comment questions here.
Go.
Let's look for quick question. What is the ground clearance of the Toyota Corolla Cross? The answer is 161 millimeters. And then what other questions? Oh, this is a popular question we get. Fuel economy. Like, what is good fuel economy on a car?
Well-
Depends on your car, I guess.
Depends.
Yeah. If you're driving
The
an
way
SUV,
I see it, doesn't depend on the car. It depends on your style of travel. That's
Actually
my
more
answer.
than
well,
anything
another
else.
one, yes.
That's correct. I agree with Nick. More than anything else, it's you that determines your
Yeah,
your
yeah.
consumption. My consumption is terrible. I get
No, yes.
I get 5 to a liter in every car I drive.
Anecdotal to. So, I think was it your Legacy that I drove or
I don't know.
one of your cars? Like it was there in the the odometer, like 5 kilometers per liter, right? I'm like, okay, like, and then like I had to drive it, so I restarted it and I drove it. I got like 8, 9. I'm like, how did you get 5?
Seriously?
Where did you get 5? Yeah, seriously.
Hey, if I get
He
5, it's a
matches
good
the throttle a lot.
day. If I get 5, it's a good day.
Okay,
No, I
but
get
going
5.
back to the question,
Yeah.
here anecdotal. So like I drive a Genesis Coupe. When I go like far places like Clark or Subic, I can actually get 18 kilometers per
Yeah.
liter because
Yeah.
it's mostly highway driving.
Mm.
But then when you drive, let's say a Toyota Vios, you only get actually like 14, 13. But you reverse the role, that you put them both in the city. That's where like the
Yes, that's
big engine
completely
gets
true.
gas
Mm.
guzzly, and
Because,
then
but
the
okay, your Genesis is meant to run. Okay, just like
yeah
a
no, but
Legacy,
that's why
it's
yeah.
meant to run. So
Yep.
you can haul
Yeah.
in those cars,
Mm.
uh,
Yes.
constantly jamming, and you'll still get. I'll easily get double efficiency from 5 to
Yes.
10.
So
So
when looking at fuel efficiency, don't look at like, oh, what's the number? Look at the style of driving you're planning to
yeah,
do, and then look at the car, the engine that you're purchasing. That's my. But every time everyone asks me about fuel economy, like of course we put like testing numbers, but at the end of the day, it really depends on your driving style and
yeah,
then the car
No,
you're getting.
you know, like when people ask me that question also, I tell them, are you gonna do a lot of highway driving? Because if you are, it's better to get a car with a bigger engine displacement. But if you're gonna be in the city, then I guess an Econo box with even a smaller engine
Yes.
would be better. So there, it
yeah.
depends.
But we're now in the situation where we've got these city cars like the city, which are fine, and they're
Well, yeah,
small. So
yeah,
it's a changing world. It's really
mm,
it's really a changing world.
yep.
The other thing is that we are now in a generation where cars, because of all these electronics, are far more efficient.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
there are some cars where all of a sudden I'm getting 8. I'm like, wow. For me
8?
to get
Wow, that's
8,
more than 5.
I know it's you should see the Outback. I get 3. So and,
Oh,
and the thing is, I mean, I'll drive a 1.6 liter
Civic.
lightweight Mazda Miata
Oh, okay.
from
Yeah.
23 years ago, or I'll drive a almost 20-year-old Civic, or I'll drive a new Outback or whatever. I'm always going to get 4 and 5. So there. But anyway, no. But the modern cars,
History.
by nature, they're forcing you to get more. They are more efficient as vehicles.
Mm,
A lot of that
yep.
has to do, honestly, with the transmission. That's why we always complain about the transmission, but it's a transmission that's giving us these numbers. It's a transmission that allows the engine to give us these honestly phenomenal numbers in comparison. Okay, so I mean, they can force us to be better. The
Okay,
other
next
thing,
question.
yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry,
next
sorry.
question. No. Go
Okay,
ahead.
no,
Go ahead.
sorry.
We,
Next
we, we
question.
could go on about that forever.
Yeah, adaptive cruise control, yay or nay? From the entertainment cabin, yay or nay? Adaptive cruise control.
Okay, adaptive. Okay, let's define that. Cruise control is basically when you can get your foot off the gas and the car goes. Uh,
Goes. It just goes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Adaptive cruise control is when it
the
adjusts.
throttle
It's
gets controlled. Yes, yes.
yeah.
Okay,
You can
but
the
it's okay.
distance
So it's
from the
sensing
car.
the vehicle in front of
Yeah.
you,
Yep.
but it's
Yes.
not the stopping like eyesight. So it's not that level yet, right? That's what we're defining.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
I have a
Some do.
question.
Some don't.
Because there are some
Yes.
cars that you can press buttons in the steering wheel where you can adjust the speed, lower the speed or higher speed
Yeah,
with just the
Mhm.
press of the plus and minus button. Is that what
yeah.
it is?
No, that's just
No.
cruise
No.
control.
Basic cruise control.
Okay.
Yeah, which you can
Okay.
adjust anyway. Adaptive is when it's doing the adapting for you. As in,
It
if the
adjusts
car
the
in front of you
speed.
slows down,
Depends.
it
Yeah.
maintains a distance. Okay.
Mm.
Now they're both. Everybody's frozen. Okay. Now we're all back.
We're all
I
back.
was so
Well,
alone. Okay.
country internet.
Okay. Who's frozen?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Carl's frozen.
Okay, it's
He's
me
Oh
then.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. You
But
guys all
yes.
came in and out. No, then it's my issue. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Adaptive cruise control. I don't use cruise control in the Philippines.
Yeah.
I
You
just
can't
don't.
really predict
I
it.
barely use
Um,
them.
yeah.
I only use
We're
it in
not
the
on.
Skyway or like SETX. Like
Oh
not
yeah.
even
It's those
anything.
long
I get
expressways.
bored.
Oh,
I get
okay.
really bored.
Same with my
I don't
dad.
use
He
it.
never used it because his thinking was he'll just fall asleep behind the wheel. So he never
Okay.
used it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's an interesting question here.
Wait.
Nice
Let's
detailed
wait. Quick
review.
thing.
Oh, sorry.
One quick
Sorry.
thing about. I wouldn't necessarily I rarely use adaptive cruise control or cruise control on the highway. However, the iStop system or the system with Honda where you have automatic stopping, which is a development from cruise control,
Oh, okay.
I would use.
I was
Because
gonna
it's
say
a
that's where I
safety.
really noticed that. Like I really love using the CRV that had
Yeah.
all the sensing. So I was in NLEX and just doing the the driving for me. Of course, I was still alert and all, but I really enjoyed that part. And especially like I think Carl had the same experience when he was inside the village and the car suddenly stopped.
Yeah, I thought it
And
was a
that
ghost stop.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I think there was a cat. So
There was a
I
cat. I
think
thought it was a
really
ghost
helpful.
stop, and it just
So it's a safety issue talaga.
yeah.
Safety.
It is. So the cruise control thing, no. The automatic stopping, I think, is an increasingly important thing, and that's just the
Oh
development
yeah,
of cruise
Yeah.
control.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Next, you were saying something else.
Someone
The
is
next question.
asking. I love the T-shirt. He's referring to the seat T-shirt.
Mhm.
How can I get one? More happy if it's free. We'll get back to
Nothing's
you.
free. Nothing's free. This you all got to work for this. These guys
Really?
earn. Okay, here's the thing. None of us are wearing the shirt, so there. But these guys
Yeah.
all earned that. Everybody earned that shirt.
Yeah,
So,
Okay.
yeah.
but yes, what's more important is wait till you see the Cars Casually shirt. You think that one's
Another
cool?
one. Okay. How old is your deputy editor? Is he 15? He's
You mean
actually
Gerard?
16.
No, okay.
I'm 15? Deputy
No,
editor. Okay,
our
okay,
deputy
deputy
editor, the
editor.
guy
How
over
old are you?
here,
Are you gonna
is
reveal?
16.
Sorry, Nick, can you do that again, please? Our deputy editor. What you're saying?
Our deputy editor is up there
I'm, I'm,
now.
I'm having fun with technology. Okay, there. Um, okay, what about all the questions about is he single? You know, things like that. What his phone number is.
I had to hide that comment. Okay. Question. How important? Like I think we sort of answered this, but just I guess a quick answer. How important is traction control? I rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it is. I think it is crucial because it just saves lives, no question. Traction control and stability control are the next level that should be in all the cars.
An insurance policy.
Okay,
You're carrying it
it's
with you.
not. Yeah, they're just key. And with that comes the problem of increased electronics and the cost of increased electronics. And now, for example, we have issues now where you have to replace sensors in cars that you never did before. But those sensors are that. Okay, let's explain how this all works. Traction control is sensing to a large extent. It needs to sense your wheels. It needs to sense where the weight is moving and so on. And when it sees that there's a difference, and let's say one wheel suddenly stops moving and the other ones are still running, it tells the computer that this one has no traction, so I'm not going to put power to that wheel. I'm going to adjust it until it gets back to traction. Okay, so that's how that works. These are all things that save people's lives, and we've done a video on that, and we will provide the link for that. If you do not have stability control versus if you do not, it's a 3-lane difference in terms of how you can control that car. And that was at a speed of what, 40? These are village speeds. These are small street speeds, not in the wet. On a racetrack that is a higher friction surface than normal, these things will save your lives. They should be in the cars. As a matter of fact, Gerard is doing a project now on what are the most, I don't want to say cheapest, most accessible safety systems we like from all the brands. And we're actually asking the brands, okay, tell us, give us your best shot. What do you bring? What we suggest is a best safety system in for the consumer. Or at what point do you put their lives in pricing? Haha. So there. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah. It's a lot has to do with fuel and safety. Oh, okay. I guess we can I know it's also technology based. Our thoughts on the 360 cameras.
I used to hate them and now I love them.
I love them
Same.
for one particular reason. when I parallel park, I can align the car exactly, like perfectly with the curve. It really helps. It really helps. No matter how like
Good you are, yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Even I admit that.
Yeah, it's funny.
Okay,
There's a thing before. Uh, the car I have, one of the cars I have now is the Galant GDI, and we had it forever. And one time we were driving, and James was with me, and I did some quick thing whipping around somewhere, and James said, "Wow, you really know your car," because I knew exactly what would hit and what wouldn't, and he was right. Nowadays, because we keep switching cars around, we don't have that. And I used to really dislike these aids of cameras and so on, and now I really like them, and I'm actually now bothered when they're not at the right level of quality that Paolo has explained to me so often every time we drive a car.
Mm.
So I'm now very picky about camera equipment.
yeah.
I'm noticing we get a lot of like barkada car. Like it's like
Okay.
I'm like sorry guys. I'm like looking at like the comments.
No,
on,
that's
on
fine.
YouTube.
I know
Yeah.
someone who bought his daughter a Miata, and she said, "But I can't bring my Barcada," so he's now selling the Miata. So if anyone wants a Miata, there's a good one.
Oh,
So
Andy.
yes, Andy.
I guess it's becoming a more popular like choice right now. Like the
Oh, yeah.
barkada car.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, it's
Okay, top of your head, guys. What would you get as a barkada car? Top of your head.
Ah, Innova.
my Barcadas are dogs now, and my kids. I don't know.
Subaru XV.
Ooh, nice.
I
Really?
don't know.
More.
So only five
Yeah.
people. Only five
Yeah.
people.
I have a select few friends, so I just
No,
need to.
whoa. And we're not part of it now.
Ooh.
So
You know, there's a good deal on an XV right now if you're looking for one.
Really?
Yeah, brand new one. There's
Brand
a good
new?
deal. Yeah, actually. It's a personal thing. So if someone wants to know, let me know. I guess I just said that to everybody, right? So okay,
yeah.
it's not so personal anymore. Okay. You, Nix, what would your Barcada car be? A pickup truck. There you go.
Yeah,
Because
Because-
everyone in my barkada has one.
No,
yeah.
Gerard,
You guys are adventurers, so pick
Gerard,
up
what
with
would yours?
fit well.
I guess I'm traditional. An Innova.
No, that's a really good
You can
choice.
never go wrong with an Innova.
Yeah,
It's hard to-
particularly the V. Go in style, right?
Actually, I'd actually get the G for the bench. The bench. Yeah, the
Well-
bench type one.
I don't. Who cares? I mean, okay na. Yeah.
Hey, but hey, style man.
Yep.
Honestly.
Exactly.
Okay, for me, when I think of a Barcada car, I think of the Volkswagen Combi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I think. Or I think of all the cars we used to pile into in college, which were
The high ace.
high aces,
The old high ace.
Maxus, right? The Maxus we tested that Paulo said was a Barcada car.
Actually, I was gonna say that also, but yeah.
Porsche 911. If your Barcada really loves you, they'll sit in the back. If not,
For sure.
They'll take
When I was
pictures
in
outside.
college.
Though.
so
When I was
Yeah.
in college, we fit 7 people in a city. So
dude, we fit
On
like
the
a
city?
dozen into a Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, another quick question. What color? What's the best color and why?
Silver because it's cool.
Silver
me, it's
because
white.
it's hard to get dirty.
I was gonna say that also. Silver. Because, you know,
Silver.
you
Silver's the easiest
Tama
to
din.
maintain.
Silver or brown.
so what's
White
the most
cars will have
Wait.
black dirt. Black dirt will have
Sorry?
white. Sorry.
what's the most
Color?
difficult
How?
one to maintain? Black, is it black? Because you see the swirls
Black.
there. If you
Oh
don't
yeah, black.
maintain it well.
Black
I
will have
remember
white
we had a
dirt. White will have black dirt. Silver
Yeah,
or
we-
gray.
we had a black
Started
Galant
C30.
before. It was when it was delivered to us. 30 minutes after it's delivered, you see the dust, accumulating already. So
Okay, so that's what we've had right now. We've gone through a bunch of
Questions.
questions. We've started off with maintenance. We've ended up with Paulo's age.
Paint.
Well, no, we've ended up with paint and my preference for silver. That's what we've done this episode. We've done it because you got all these questions, and they're intelligent questions, and we appreciate them. Thank you very, very much for all of them. If you have more questions, let us know. We can talk endlessly about some of this stuff, and we probably will do after we get off this video anyway. But do let us know. We are going to be exploring new things, such as the least expensive entry point for the safety features we like. We're going to explain things like modern cars that have basically they use radar to see the road ahead of you and then adapt the suspension. So by the time you get there, your suspension.
Oh yeah.
We're going to be testing those. We're going to be doing all these little things. So we want to say thank you, everyone, as well, that's watching. Thank you for all the questions. We really, really appreciate them, whether they come to us on the different chats or by phone or by message or by people calling me or by, in some cases, actually people stopping on the street in the village and saying, hey, what about this? Or when they ask us to explain something. We make mistakes. If we make mistakes, let us know kindly, please. And we will answer them or give our opinion as to why we think that. Okay? Because everyone's got their own opinion. As it's very clear, because we all disagree with Paolo today. No, I'm kidding. So, Chris is not here, so we should tease him. Okay, but he's not. So he escaped. Okay, so thank you very, very much, everyone. Once again, thanks a lot. This has been the Cars Casually Gang from C Magazine and the C Magazine group, well, the C group. This has been Nix. This has been Paolo. This has been G, who misspelled his name as Gerard. And this is me, Carl. Thank you very, very much. See you again in what people are now calling the series they like to watch. Can you believe that? We're a series. We're a show. Who would have believed that one? Thank you very, very much, everyone. And thanks again, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.